Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Disney Cruise Line Show. Coming up, we're going to talk about the ever-changing, ever-evolving Disney Cruise Line reservation and cancellation policies. Coming up next. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Coming to you from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined via Skype this week by my good friends, Dreams agent Elaine Edwards.
Hi, friends.
Senior editor on The Diz, Ms. Jackie Gailey.
Hi there.
Who's not on screen. And quietly and secretively holed up in a corner in the far, far reaches of the studio is Corey Fiasconaro. We're not letting him on camera this week because he's just a bad person. I don't know. No, it is. We're doing something a little different with the equipment, and the angle isn't good for him right now. So we're just leaving him sitting there. So I just, his mic is off, his camera's off. It's great. It's great. Okay. So before we get started, let me just say to all of you, remember when you were a kid and your mother used to make you eat your vegetables? That's what we're about to do with this show. Okay? This is not a sexy topic. This is not an exciting topic. It is an incredibly important topic. If you are thinking about booking a cruise, a Disney Cruise Line reservation, or if you have one and in the current environment, there's a lot of questions about what can I do and what happens if. So this is I refer to these offline when I'm planning shows and brainstorming with the guys as an eat your vegetables show. So we're about to serve you we hope you like vegetables because we're about to serve you a big platter of vegetables. More exactly, Elaine Edwards, the amazing Dreams agent, Elaine Edwards is about to feed you broccoli. So Elaine, there's your setup, baby. Go for it.
Okay, so I told Pete that I thought this would be a really good idea if we put this information out there because I've explained this information many, many, many times, and Disney has put it out there, and a lot of people are really confused because there's like 15 different scenarios going on, and so we're just going to lay it all out for everybody. So the first thing to think about is if you have a cruise and it's booked right now, if you are paid in full and Disney cancels your cruise, as of right now, the policy is, and all of this is dated the first week of December 2020. Everything could change next week, but as of right now, if you're paid in full and Disney cancels your sailing, as they have done, you would have your choice of a full refund back to your original forms of payment, or they will refund you your taxes and your port fees and your fare that you paid. You will then get a future cruise credit equal to that fare plus an additional 25%. As of right now, you can use that future cruise credit through May 31st of 2022. I do not expect them to extend that future cruise credit simply because then you're talking about the fifth ship, the Wish, coming on board. And I don't think people are going to want to let people use it for that, but that's just my opinion. So if you're paid in full, those are your choices. If you are not paid in full at the time that Disney cancels your cruise, you're just going to get a flat automatic refund back to your original forms of payment. And I keep saying that because it's very important. Because a lot of people, as we know, like to use Disney gift cards. And then they throw them away. Or they lose them. Or their kids play with them. Whatever. Put them in a safe place, folks. Put them in a safe place. I say put them in your underwear drawer because maybe nobody will mess with them there. But everything's going back to your original form of payment.
Well, especially if they don't wash their underwear, then that is probably going to be the safest place in your house. I'm sorry. I just wanted to throw that out there.
If you are paid in full and you used a future cruise credit from a previously canceled sailing. I have some guests that are on their third and fourth round at this point. That future cruise credit just goes back in your Castaway Club account. You don't get to earn an additional 25% on top of the 25% that you already got. That just goes straight back in. If you had it like a half and half where you paid partial with future cruise credit and partial with credit card, that credit card or gift card is getting automatically refunded. Then the original future cruise credit is going back in your account. You're not earning additional either way. So if you had a cruise that was canceled and you booked it with a placeholder and an onboard booking, as of this time, Disney Cruise Line has extended placeholders and onboard bookings that you can use. You can use them to sail through, again, May 31st of 2022. So if your cruise was canceled, you can rebook and reuse that placeholder if you were already paid in full. All right. Now, if you, with those, let's talk about future cruise credits, a few more things with that. If you book a cruise that costs less than your total of your future cruise credit, that extra amount, you can use it for your prepaid gratuities, you can use it for insurance, you can use it for transfers, you can book a pre-stay hotel with it that gets tacked onto the price of your cruise. If you step foot on the ship and you have anything remaining in future cruise credit, that's going to get added to your onboard account. And at that point, you got to use it or lose it. So you can use it on your alcohol, your ship purchases, your excursions, activities, all that great stuff. And that's in addition to, if you book through Dreams, in addition to the shipboard credit that we gave you on top of that. So you're coming out way ahead there.
All right. Let me just say this. Folks, you are getting a really, really, really good look at why having a travel agent in 2020 is a really good idea. Okay? Now, I'm part owner of the travel agency that Elaine works for. I've been doing this for 20 some odd years. I have trouble keeping up with this stuff. To be honest with you, I have trouble keeping up. She's just gone through 3 scenarios, right? And these are not obscure scenarios. Okay? People that have an onboard, that rebooked on board that have a future cruise credit. Among our audience, among our people, that's not out of the realm of possibility at all. And that is why these guys have earned their money so much this year, because they've had to stay on top of this. They're the ones on the phone with Disney Cruise Line. They're the ones on the phone figuring out how to move your cruise around, talking to Disney Cruise Line. I got to tell you, these guys were out of their minds March, April, and May. Out of their minds doing this. So I just needed to throw that out there. Of course, Dreams Unlimited Travel is a sponsor of everything that we do, and a great way to show you support for our content and our staff, especially the ones that we keep off camera and we won't let them talk, is to book your Disney cruise with Dreams Unlimited Travel, because that's how I pay for this. So I'm sorry, Elaine, but back to you.
Yes. And, I keep letting people know that if you originally booked someplace else or with Disney Cruise Line directly and your cruise has been canceled and you now have future cruise credit and you're like, I don't know what my options are, I don't know what I need to do, you can use that future cruise credit with Dreams. You are not locked in anywhere. It's attached to your Castaway Club account, not to anything else.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm putting my hand up. Where in your Castaway Club do you see that? Because I just brought mine up, and I think I should have one. Because I had a cruise.
That I am not sure about, because I personally have not had a cruise that was canceled with future cruise credit. So I'm actually not sure where it is in the account. I just manually do the math and tell my clients this is the money that you have.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna look for it while you're talking.
The other thing I wanted to say too is that a lot of people don't realize that it doesn't cost you any more money to book using a travel agent. So back in the day, before I knew one single thing about travel, I used to think that you had to pay more to use a travel agent because you had to pay them for their services. I had no idea. And so I'm sure that a lot of people out there are the same, and they don't realize that booking through a travel agency where you have a an expert in where you're going to help you along the way doesn't cost you a cent more than it would to book directly with Disney is actually quite amazing, especially in 2020 with what we've dealt with cancellations and rebooks and everything.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So that kind of covered if you already have a cruise that has been canceled. So let's talk about if you have a cruise that has not been canceled yet, or if you're thinking about booking a cruise. The biggest one right now is the 60-day final payment policy. Now, through June of 2021, they have relaxed their cancellation policies and their final payment policies. So the final payment policy is now 60 days out. You must be paid in full 60 days out, whereas previously it was either 90 or 120, depending upon your cruise. So that gives you a little extra time. However, the thing to think about is that you cannot book any excursions or shipboard activities until you're paid in full. So if you have something that you really have your eye on, especially like if you want a cabana, a Castaway Cay, anything like that, if there's something that's very important to you, you're going to want to go ahead and pay in full so that you can then book those activities that you're wanting. Also, as we talked about before, if Disney cancels your cruise and you are not paid in full, all you get is a refund of what you have paid already. You do not get the opportunity to get that bonus free money that they are handing you, that extra 25%. So that's something to think about as well. And you can still, even if you go ahead and pay in full, you can still cancel when you get to day 61 and get a refund if you need to. All right, so the next part is the cruise date flexibility. Now, this is very important because you must book your cruise before December 31st of 2020 in order to take advantage of this cruise date flexibility. If you're already booked or you plan on booking in the next few weeks, up until sale dates of May 31st of 2021, you may change your sale date up to 15 days in advance. That does not mean cancel and get a full refund. That means change your sale date. The money moves to a new sailing, and you stay in whatever penalty percentage you are in for your cruise at the time that you move it. So you can't push it to 6 months out and then the next day call back and say, I want a refund. Your money is still going to be tied up, but you have more flexibility so that you can change your sale date.
And you said, Elaine, you said that you can do that up until December 31st. Is that what you said?
So you have to be booked by December 31st of this year, and your sale date must be by May 31st of 2021. So anybody that books a cruise on January 2nd, as of the policy as it stands today, you don't get to take advantage of this.
Okay.
All right. So this kind of gives you a little bit of incentive if you think you want to be in some of those first sailings this spring and take advantage of that. You've got more flexibility here. All right. Now, that's up to 15 days before your sale date. Once you get inside of 15 days, they have now, this is a brand new policy that I just saw that came out last week, that is this flexible refund policy for within 14 days. If you are within 14 days of your sale date and you have tested positive for COVID-19, or you have symptoms or a exposure to somebody, you can change your sale date, or if we can't find you a new sale date, they will give you a refund for your selling.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't have any kind of dates on this. I looked at the wording right before we recorded this, could not find any kind of date. I do not know the specifics on this policy as far as if that has an end date to it or not. I do not know. There was nothing on the terms and conditions that I was reading. So
I'll look into that one.
yeah. So that really makes me feel really good, because when we first started this whole thing back at the end of February in 2020, and they were talking about that they were going to take people's temperatures before they got on the ship. They were telling it, people were asking, well, what happens? I get to port to take my temperature. I have a temperature. They won't let me on the ship. What happens? And we were kind of getting this like, sorry about you wording. And so this makes me feel a lot better. This makes me feel a lot better that you still, even though we kind of had these layers of flexibility, you've got until 60 days out, where you were at 120 days out and you had to cancel or pay in full. Then inside that, we can move your sale date. Then even inside that, if you get sick or you're exposed or something like that, we can still take care of you. So it's a lot of information, and it's kind of like a fire hose to the face, but it's a lot easier to kind of explain it and lay it all out, that there's all these scenarios going on, but it's their, booking with confidence policies and what they've got right now.
That is a lot of information. And also, I'm sitting here looking up May cruises. It's some good pricing. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should do that. There's like one on May 12th. A 4-night. I really like. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know. But all right, Elaine, thank you so much. Jackie, thank you. Fiasco, you were just there. But thank you anyway. Thank you for just being you. And thank you guys for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this. We will see you again next time with another edition of the Disney Cruise Line Show. Have a great week, folks.